this thing working? Hello, and welcome to the Movie Universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Today, I'll be doing a special live stream for my friend, Professor Dreamer. He's given me a lot of good ideas over the years, and well, I like to cover quite a few of them. There's still a few that are pretty large that I'm going to save for future videos, but there's a lot that I've yet to come across, so, well, here we are. Anyway, I'd like to talk about some ones that he had pitched. Like, let's see. Oh, here's a common one. He asked me why. He asked me to say that. Sorry. He asked me to talk about this one. Why the Neo Saban era failed to live up to the legacy of the Zordon era, and what could be done to fix it. Well, from what I've been able to see with the Neo Saban era, he was relying way too much on nostalgia at that time, because if you watch Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce, he was trying too hard to be a throwback to Mighty Morphin, and that's it. That's one of the things that really killed it. That and the fact that he was trying way too hard to just promote the Legendary War, or Legendary Battle if you prefer. And that was a huge mistake, because I'll tell you, folks, the Legend War, it was crap to begin with. Because, I mean, seriously, compared to what they did in Super Sentai, where they literally had a Megazord battle as well, with literally all the Megazords throughout Super Sentai history fighting monsters. And what do we get? Them fighting putties the whole time for about a couple of minutes. Seriously? Seriously? What the heck was Saban thinking? I mean, all that for this. And we had already gotten an idea as to what was going to happen, because we all couldn't help but look it up. It was hard not to. And this is what we get. It's no wonder why everybody was disappointed, because, I mean, seriously, we expected that Megazord battle, and we never got it. So that doesn't help matters. And like I said, they were too busy trying to be a throwback to Mighty Morphin. I mean, heck, the Megaforce Rangers hang around at a juice bar, and the proprietor's name is Ernie. Now, I wonder, where does that name ring a bell? I mean, it sounds familiar. Oh, yeah. That's how it was in Mighty Morphin. Sheesh. Lack of creativity there. And then there was Power Rangers Samurai. I know that one got a lot of flack. Mostly because a lot of the characters, they were pretty bland, and there's no denying the truth. A lot of them were. I think the only one who really stood out in his own right was probably Antonio, the Gold Ranger, because, well, I can't quite explain it. It seemed like when he was there, things got a little bit better. I can't explain why, like I said. But for whatever reason, it just seemed to work when he was there, because he had a little more character to him. Unlike the other guys, the rest of them, there wasn't much of anything. Well, not really. I mean, Jaden, the leader, he wasn't much of a leader, at least not to me. Well, then we got, let's see, who else we got? Well, basically all of them. They were pretty bland. And it's a little hard to explain, because, it's just sad that they were like that. But, it did have some good points to it. I mean, like I said, Antonio, he was great. And then there was Sir Raider. Now, there was a real villain. He was incredible. This guy was tough. If anything, he should have been the one in charge. Because Master Xandrid, he was powerful, but I didn't think he was that tough. Like I said, Master Xandrid should have been the real leader. Oh, sorry, Sir Raider should have been the real leader. Why not? I don't know. For whatever reason, they just didn't make him the leader. But whatever. Let's see. What could have been done to improve it? Well, I could think of a few things. Let's see. One, definitely make Sir Raider the leader on that one. But at the same time, for the whole Neo Saban era, well, I would say stop trying to make everything a throwback to what you did over 10 years ago. That was the big problem because he was relying way too heavy on nostalgia, or at least he was trying to anyway. It didn't work, and yeah, definitely a bad idea. And, well, it seemed like the writing could have been a lot better. Not to mention, quite a few of the characters could have been done a lot better as well, if you ask me. Which brings us to our next one. And this is why Mentor G is a pathetic mentor. Well, that one speaks for itself. But, the truth is, it all comes down to one fact. He's not really much of a mentor at all. He's just there. That's about it. The only time he's actually being a mentor is when the Green Ranger is having trouble with his powers, and he gives him some guidance to get him more in tune with it. Therefore, he could actually get in touch with it and to be able to do a special move with a special disc. Either way, they don't give anything with this guy at all. I mean, he's just there. It seems to me that Jaden's the real mentor here. So that's a first. I mean, the Power Ranger is the real mentor. And for the record, they're supposed to be samurai, right? Why is he called Mentor G? Why is he not called Sensei? I mean, heck, Bulk himself said that Sensei means teacher, and they're supposed to be samurai, right? So, again, why Mentor? Why not Sensei? It's more accurate. And that does bring a possibility. Saban was not giving us enough credit. He took us as being completely dumb. Because, by this time, we are a lot more familiar with Japanese culture than we were back in 1993. I'm not saying that none of us had any idea as to how it really was over there, or is, for that matter. But by the time Samurai came out, we were definitely more in tune with that. So, yeah, he was definitely treating us like idiots with that one. Definitely a bad move there. Now, let's see. Why Divatox is the worst villain. Oh, boy. Why is she the worst villain? Well, that one comes down to one big fact. She is a big whiner. She is just constantly whining and whining and whining beyond belief. Always constantly acting up. I know a lot of people complained about Lord Zed and Rita when they got together and became like Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. Everybody always made that crack. But with Divatox, it's like she was a solo Lucy. And it was aggravating. Absolutely aggravating. You just can't stand the notion of the way she keeps whining about stuff. Not to mention the whole thing that what is she doing during the first half of the season? Planting bombs all over the place. Yeah, I know that came up every now and again throughout Power Rangers, but for her, it's literally almost every episode up until the change-up. So, yeah, bad move all around. Very bad. And it's kind of a lucky break, because they could have done that after we invaded Iraq. Imagine how that would have went. That would have been bad. Fortunately, this was beforehand. Let's see. What else do we got here? Talk about Power Rangers Hyperforce. Well, unfortunately, it's a little too late to talk about that, but I will mention it anyway. For those of you who may not remember, it was a thing that Paul Schreier had created for a little while on YouTube, where he just got a whole bunch of people, especially former Power Rangers, and just did Power Rangers Hyperforce. It looked more like Hollywood Squares to me, but it was a pretty cool idea. And I did like the concept, and it was awesome to see some of the original Rangers pop up every now and again. I know I saw Jason a few times, and that was great. And it was also great for all kinds of fans to really be able to be a part of it. So that was pretty awesome. Of course, they were, it was short lived, but I think it was meant to be anyway. Some shows are just not meant to last forever. Let's see. Wolverine and the X-Men. Well, that was a series that I watched, but I just could not get into it too much. It had potential. I mean, I loved the concept that Professor Xavier, he is in a coma and he doesn't wake up until, somewhere in the far future. And, it's a fight for survival for both mankind and mutants because the Sentinels had taken over. Yeah, while we were fighting each other, the mutants and the humans, the Sentinels ended up breaking their own programming. And obviously, we had weakened ourselves down to where they took over with ease. At the same time, Xavier is technically still talking to Wolverine, but he's actually talking to him through his, his psychic powers, but with a twist. He's actually able to communicate with himself in the past. Obviously, by that time, his psychic power had gotten that powerful, which is unbelievable. But then again, I wouldn't expect anything less from Professor Xavier. So, yeah. But, let's see. Oh, he's also, telling Wolverine to do stuff like stop certain mutants, which makes sense, or, stop Magneto before he really gets a chance to do something. Again, that makes sense. But at the same time, the idea that, I think the finisher was probably the best part. At the end, Magneto did suspect that Xavier might have been behind it. And in the end, Magneto and Senator Kelly end up with Wolverine to where Professor X is in a coma, and he's communicating with all three of them right there. Now, of course, Senator Kelly didn't believe it, but of course, Magneto, he knew better because, hey, he's known Xavier for a long time, so he knew. And Xavier, and he showed him the future. And after that, for once, we get something that the series has never really given us. A step forward in mutants and humans actually coexisting. Yeah, because usually Senator Kelly was always the problem and all that. He refused to listen, but for this, he did listen. He saw what Xavier was seeing, and, he decided to scrap the Sentinel program once and for all, which was definitely a good idea. And he even started to propose that they try to work together, try to, find a more peaceful solution for mankind and mutants to coexist rather than try to annihilate them like he was originally trying to do. So that's where this series shines, is that moment, I think. It was a good finisher, so I can't complain. Let's see, there's another one, X-Men Evolution. Well, I hate to say this. I did watch a few episodes, and it was okay, but it just did not have that flair that the original series had. The animation was good, and I did love how it had quite a few of the characters from Inuyasha on there because, it was made in Canada, so what do you expect? And for once, most of the cast of mutants in Xavier's school really are teenagers, except for Wolverine. He seems to be the oldest one there. Well, correction, him and Storm. The rest of them, like Shadowcat, Cyclops, and Jean Grey, they're actually teenagers. So it was a nice change-up. But, the series was definitely not meant to be a, huge success, I don't think. It just didn't have what the original series had. Okay, here's another one. Cat Scratch. Oh boy, I remember this. This one was really short-lived. Starring Wayne Knight as Mr. Blick and his brothers, two other cats, Waffle and Gordon. It was an interesting show. A little bit out there, I think, because, well, I don't know. It's like it tried to be Ren and Stimpy without pulling it off because they knew they couldn't really go to that kind of level. Because as we all know, Ren and Stimpy, boy, they really pushed it. It was pretty, who am I kidding? It was nasty. Right up there with Modern Family Guy and Modern Simpsons. But, yeah. Huh? That was weird. I thought I heard something. Anyway. Oh, hey, Dirty. Anyway, the Cat Scratch, it was not a bad show, but, the characters, they were not, who am I kidding? They weren't very memorable at all. I mean, it didn't give us much to work with. And it just could have been so much better. And it just, the writing was not very good. The animation was okay. It was good for what it was. The characters, they weren't very likable, sad but true. It was just something that you watched to kill some time. The most I had fun with it was the 2 episodes involving that Kraken. Seriously. Who, believe it or not, was actually from another planet. Hard to believe. But anyway, those were good episodes, but that's about it. Let's see. Not that one. I know I've gotten quite a few requests for Codename Kids Next Door, especially on certain episodes. And one of these days I should talk about that because that was a great series. But certain episodes, unfortunately, I neglected to write those down, and, well, that's it for that. But it'll come around one of these days. And, well, I'm kind of surprised. The lack of interest here tonight, but I guess it makes sense. Maybe it was bad timing. Maybe it just wasn't meant to work out. But maybe I could give y'all a little heads up. Nah, forget it. I'll leave that as a surprise. But I will tell you this, though, folks. There's going to be some future videos, and one of these days for Professor Dreamer, I will definitely cover a lot of the stuff he's given me because, it's not easy, folks. I know you may wonder why I haven't covered it, but the truth is, if you ever seen my show, I never use a script, ever. And whenever I do a video, I gotta feel it. You could call it method acting if you like or something. What was that? You could call it method acting. It's not too far off, but anyway, I never really used a script or anything like that. I just go mostly by memory alone, and whenever I do a video, I gotta feel it, and that's the truth. I can't just do it. It's hard to explain, but it's the truth. That's the way I've always worked, and I know maybe it's not 100% foolproof. Maybe it's not the greatest method, or maybe it's technically out of date now, but hey, I don't know any other way to do it for me that works, so that's that. Well, anyway, I hope whoever might check this out, I hope you like it. I certainly hope Professor Dreamer keeps on giving me some good ideas, and I certainly hope that you stick around because I am definitely going to get to a lot of those ones that you've talked about over the years. It's just not easy covering a lot, As for certain episodes, well, that might be a little difficult, I hate to say, because I never could just cover certain episodes. Well, I guess I might as well wrap it up. So, Until then, this is Movie Fan signing off.